and their manager went on live television and tore the performance apart. Think about that for 1 second. The man in charge of England couldn't find one single kind word for him. This isn't a boss pushing his star. This isn't tough love. This is a campaign. A slow, deliberate, months-long effort to shrink the biggest ego in English football, and the timeline gives it away completely. Here's where things stand right now. July 2026, and England sits just days away from a semi-final against Lionel Messi and Argentina in Atlanta. The biggest game this country has faced in a generation. So what should be dominating the build-up? The tactics, the defending champions, the plan to stop the greatest player of all time. And what's actually dominating it? A feud. A public, bitter, running war of words between the England manager and the one man single-handedly dragging this team through the tournament. Picture it, a nation on the edge of history, and the two most important men in the whole operation can't stop swinging at each other in public. When did the manager become the story? So how on earth did we get here? Rewind. June 2025, England loses a friendly to Senegal, 3-1, and the reaction from the new manager tells you everything. The morning after, a sleep-deprived Thomas Tuchel calls into talkSPORT radio. Instead of talking about the defending, he decides to open up about Bellingham's temper on the pitch. His verdict? He tells the nation his own mother can't stand watching it. He uses the word repulsive, about a player he had managed for exactly 0 games. 0. Not a single match together on a touchline, and the England boss is already live on radio picking apart his star's attitude. He apologized weeks later, on August the 29th, called it a clumsy translation slip in his second language. Fine, accepted. But the underlying jab at Bellingham's fire never actually left. It just went quiet and waited. Before everyone else starts arguing about them. October the 3rd, 2025. Bellingham is back. The shoulder surgery is behind him. He's playing matches again for Real Madrid, and he's desperate to reclaim his England shirt. So what does Tuchel do? He drops him. Him and Phil Foden, both cut from the squad for the fixtures against Wales and Latvia. And here's the part that genuinely stings. 2 days. That's the entire gap between Bellingham being crowned England's Player of the Year and getting a phone call telling him he was benched. Tuchel rang him personally to deliver it, explaining he was being left out to reward the players who'd turned up in the previous international break. Player of the Year on Monday, frozen out by Wednesday. That's the logic we're running with? November the 8th. Now the pressure starts to build. You cannot leave a talent of that size out in the cold forever, and Tuchel knew it perfectly well. So he recals Bellingham for the World Cup qualifiers. A climb down, right? Not quite. Because even in the act of bringing him back, the manager couldn't just open the door and welcome him home. He goes to the press and announces there are no guarantees for anyone, not even for superstars. Read that back slowly. He returns arguably the most gifted footballer available to him and frames the whole thing as a warning shot across the bow. Everyone else in that squad got a recall. Bellingham got a lecture attached to his. If this is this story in front of more people who've been watching the 6th, 2026, World Cup, round of 16, England against Mexico, and Tuchel finally gets it right. He pushes Bellingham into an advanced, central role. Midfielder repays him instantly by scoring twice in a 3-2 comeback win. 2 goals. A full-blown rescue act. So credit where it's due, that tactical switch worked and it won England the game. But watch what happens next, because this is the whole pattern in miniature. Think about what it does to a player's head. You win the match on your own, and the story still finds a way to become about the manager. Because just 5 days later, everything he handed over, he snatched straight back. July the 11th, Miami, the quarterfinal against Norway, and it drags all the way into extra time. So who steps up and hauls England over the line? The same man. Bellingham strikes both goals in a 2-1 win that books a place in the semi-final. He carries them again. And what does his manager offer up afterward, on the record, to the watching world? Sloppy, lucky, riddled with technical mistakes. His player has just scored a knockout brace in a World Cup quarterfinal, one of the biggest nights of his career, and the manager reaches for the word lucky. How do you watch a night like that and choose lucky? Any other coach on the planet is praising that kid to the skies. Any other coach. That isn't tactical analysis. That's a message, aimed at one person. And this time, Bellingham heard it loud and clear. July the 11th, Standing on the pitch at Hard Rock Stadium, drenched in sweat, ITV's Gabriel Clark relays exactly what the manager had just told the cameras. And Bellingham doesn't hide it. He rolls his eyes, mutters, "Yeah, well, whatever." Then he goes straight for the throat. He suggests maybe Tuchel simply doesn't know what it's like to play in those kind of conditions. A cold, direct dig at the manager's modest career as a player. Live, on camera, for millions. And the British media instantly split down the middle. One camp calling Tuchel's relentless needling a lesson in psychological motivation. The other warning he's minutes away from alienating the finest talent England has produced in a decade. All of it, days before the biggest match of the entire tournament. And that's the real danger nobody inside the England camp wants to say out loud. This is a team that has reached 4 semi-finals in its last 5 major tournaments. 4. These players belong at this level now. They've earned it. And their next opponent is Messi's Argentina, the reigning world champions, the single last side on earth you want to face, while your own dressing room is quietly tearing itself apart. Meanwhile, Bellingham has 6 goals at this World Cup. 6. That puts him level with Harry Kane, and just 2 behind Messi and Kylian Mbappe. And it's Bellingham. Every single time it matters most, it's Bellingham. Not the system, not the grand plan. The player. He is not the problem here. He has been the solution, over and over again. So why is his own manager still swinging at him? Here's the honest answer to the entire saga. Tuchel does not want a free-roaming superstar doing whatever he pleases. He wants Bellingham locked tightly inside his system, playing the manager's way, the famous ego trimmed right down to fit the machine, more stick than carrot, and completely on purpose. This isn't about whether tough love works. Plenty of coaches have squeezed brilliance out of players that way. It's about aiming it at the wrong man at the wrong moment, in front of the wrong audience. Because there is a razor-thin line between hardening a player and breaking his spirit entirely. And with a World Cup semi-final on the line, and your talisman rolling his eyes at you on national television, you had better know exactly where that line sits. Because if England fall to Argentina in Atlanta, nobody is going to remember the formation or the team talk. They'll remember a manager who spent an entire year at war with the one player who kept saving his job. If this story hit you the way it hit me, like and subscribe. There's a